Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something truly iconic, yet its inner workings. They've been kept under wraps for decades.
Yeah, tightly under wraps.
We're talking about the Ferrero Rocher, you know, that little golden ball. They sell, get this, over 100 of them every single second, globally.
It's staggering numbers, really. An incredible feat of, well, standardized manufacturing. For years, honestly, unless you were an engineer inside one of their factories.
You had no idea.
No clue. You couldn't possibly grasp the level of automation, the proprietary machines they use. Ferrero somehow managed to combine these really sensitive, complex recipes with, massive industrial output.
And that's the core of it, isn't it? That's the mission for this deep dive, to finally, pull back that gold foil. We want to reveal the engineering, the supply chain wizardry, the sheer tech effort behind making billions of these perfect spheres every year. Because the reason we all kind of love them is pretty simple, right? It's that perfect structure. That snap of the shell, the creamy inside, and then boom, that whole hazelnut heart.
It's way more than just a recipe. It's like a mechanical symphony, almost. And that's why competitors find it so hard to copy.
They just can't get that balance.
Right. That synergy of the crunch, the flavor, the melt, it all depends on just unwavering consistency across thousands of factories, 100 countries. If any single part of that build,
like the wafer.
Yeah, the wafer, the cream, the coating, if it's off by even a tiny fraction of a millimeter or a single degree in temperature,
the whole thing fails.
The experience just collapses. It's not a Rocher anymore.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning then. The foundation. Yeah. All our research points to this. The hazelnut. It isn't just an ingredient.
No, not unlike.
It's framed as the soul of the product. Take it out and you've just got, well, a chocolate ball.
A fairly standard chocolate ball, yeah. But with it, that's where you get the legend.
So it all starts with the nut.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is the sheer, almost obsessive dedication to getting the best nuts. Ferrero imports from top regions, Turkey, Italy, Chile.
But there's one they prize above all others, right?
Yes, the Piemonte hazelnut from northern Italy.
Ah, the Piemonte. It's got that reputation.
It does. Globally prized for two key things. First, superior flavor density. You just get a richer, deeper hazelnut taste. And second, a better crunch. Cleaner somehow than other types. It's really the foundation, and yeah, it costs more.
Okay, but here's the bottleneck I see. If you're banking on this specific premium regional nut, the Piemonte, how on earth do you scale that?
Yeah, good question.
Billions of chocolates every year. That needs global coordination, on another level. Few food companies could manage that.
And that's where the engineering of the supply chain itself comes in. Ferrero knew the scale demanded something special, so they actually set up the Ferrero Hazelnut Company.
A subsidiary.
Exactly. A whole separate company whose only job is managing the insane quantity and the super high quality control needed for just this one ingredient.
Wow. A whole company just for hazelnuts. That really says something.
It shows the commitment, doesn't it? It gives them control right from the harvest, and their process is relentless. The nuts go through careful drying, peeling, then the sorting. And this is sophisticated stuff. Optical tech, they sort not just by size, but by precise color and even flavor density.
Yeah.
All to keep every batch consistent.
And then comes the roasting. This feels like the real make-or-break moment for the flavor.
It absolutely is. They developed this specially engineered roasting process. Temperature control is critical with really tight tolerances.
Like baking, but more intense.
Think of it like a delicate chemical reaction. If that temperature spikes just a little, the oils in the nut turn bitter, instantly ruined. But if it's too low, the volatile compounds, the things that give hazelnuts that deep signature flavor, they stay locked inside. You don't get the full impact.
So this perfect secret roast, that's what decides if a nut stays whole or gets ground up.
Precisely. The whole nuts, the ones going right in the center for that crunch, they need maximum structural strength and flavor punch.
Right.
The ground nuts, though, the ones mixed into the outer layer and the cream, they're roasted specifically to release their oils, blend smoothly into the chocolate, add texture without being gritty.
So the engineering of the whole chocolate starts right there, with how you treat that single nut.
Exactly. It all builds from the hazelnut up. Okay, so hazelnuts sorted and perfectly roasted. Now we move to the next really tricky layer, the wafer shell.
Yeah, this can't be just any wafer.
No way. It has to be incredibly thin, perfectly crispy all over, but also strong enough. It needs to hold the filling without cracking during assembly.
And this is where the high-speed machinery really starts to earn its keep, I imagine, making that perfect wafer consistently.
Oh yeah, it starts with a very carefully calibrated batter, specialized stuff, flour, water, fats, sugar, and a tiny precise bit of leavening, like baking soda. This mix gets spread onto huge baking trays, super thin layers, very controlled. Then it goes through these custom-built high-temp ovens.
It sounds almost like making ceramics or something, not a snack food.
The timing is just critical. We're talking differences measured in fractions of a second. Bake it a tiny bit too long.
Crumbly.
Exactly. Too brittle, it just shatters later. But underbake it, even slightly, it's too weak. It can't hold that heavy cream filling.
And then they shape them.
Yep. Right after baking, high-precision tools stamp and form the wafer sheets into these millimeter-perfect half-spheres.
Hemispheres.
Hemispheres, right. And they have to match perfectly. I can just picture the chaos of trying to seal two wonky halves together at lightning speed.
That's precisely the engineering challenge. Those two wafer halves have to be identical. Perfect match. Otherwise, when you try to fill them and seal them,
Leaks. Or the coating won't stick right.
both. The cream could leak, or the chocolate coating later won't go on evenly. So they use proprietary optical sensors, high-speed robots, checking everything before any filling goes near them. Okay, talking about the filling. Let's bust that myth. Everyone thinks it's just Nutella in there. It's not, right?
Definitely not. That's a great point, and it's crucial to understand why it's different, functionally different.
How so?
Nutella is designed, to be spreadable, right out of the jar, room temperature. The cream inside a Ferrero Rocher, though, that's a totally unique recipe. It's engineered specifically for structural integrity inside that delicate wafer shell.
So different ingredients, or processed differently.
A bit of both. The base is similar, that finely ground roasted hazelnut paste, cocoa, sugar, milk powder, good quality fats. But the key is the fat blend and the processing temperature.
Temperature again.
Always. Ferrero uses these special temperature controls and unique stirring techniques. It's all about controlling the viscosity, the flow rate.
Meaning how thick or thin it is.
Exactly. The cream has to feel luxurious, creamy, but it also needs to be viscous enough, thick enough, to cling perfectly to the inside of the wafer. It can't soak through that thin shell, and it can't leak out once the sphere is sealed.
So it has to be perfectly tuned. Stay the same density all the way down the line. Not runny, but not like waxy either.
Precisely. Flawless consistency. So every single bite gives you that signature melt-in-your-mouth feel, but the cream is also doing its job holding the wafer and the hazelnut together. Structure and sensation.
Okay, we've got the engineered insides, sorted, fragile shell, special structured cream. Now for the grand finale, the outside. That iconic golden texture. It's instantly recognizable, but getting that uniform look at industrial speed, that sounds like an engineer's nightmare.
It really is the pinnacle of the whole process. The assembly line is just incredible to watch, apparently. Cream goes into one wafer half.
Pop the hazelnut in?
Yep, whole hazelnut inserted. Second wafer half gently sealed on top. Now you've got this perfect but very fragile sphere. And then comes the critical three-step coating.
Right, the coating tech. It has to handle that fragile wafer underneath while adding this thick, bumpy layer.
Exactly. Ferrero developed specialized gear for this. It ensures what you could call uncompromising consistency in both the speed of application and the amount of coating applied.
Okay, walk us through the 3 steps. What's step 1?
Step 1, the base coat. The sealed sphere takes a quick dip in a smooth chocolate bath. This is foundational.
Why? What does it do?
It seals any tiny gaps between the wafer halves. Crucially, it provides a perfectly uniform wet surface for the next layer to stick to.
Got it. So step 2 must be where the texture comes in, the roll.
Exactly. Right after that base coat, while it's still wet, the sphere rolls through this rotating drum. And the drum is filled with a very specific mix of chopped roasted hazelnuts and little chocolate bits.
And that just sticks.
Sticks instantly to that wet base coat. Creates that signature bumpy, crunchy outside we all know.
Okay, and the final touch, step 3.
The final dip. The sphere gets its last perfect coating of high-quality milk chocolate. This is the layer that gives the Rocher its beautiful shine, smooths everything out, and locks in all those crunchy bits underneath.
And I bet the temperature here is insanely critical, more so than anywhere else.
Oh, absolutely. This is the moment of truth for the final look and feel. The temperature of that final chocolate bath is controlled to a razor's edge.
What happens if it's off?
If it's too hot, the chocolate layer ends up too thin, maybe uneven, and it loses that lovely gloss. If it's even a tiny bit too cold, the chocolate sets too fast. It looks dull, kind of waxy.
At the snap.
You lose that clean, sharp shatter when you bite into it. Any variation here, and that luxury experience just isn't there. It's a reject.
Okay, final dip done. Then they need to cool down fast, right? Without wrecking the inside.
Yes. Straight from the dip, the finished spheres move through this intensely monitored cooling chamber. Temperature and humidity are precisely controlled. This lets the chocolate crystallize perfectly, setting hard.
And this whole coating and cooling process.
High-speed robots, designed for what engineers call tolerance-free engineering, basically zero room for error.
That sheer engineering focus, that intensity.
Yeah.
It leads us right into how the product is positioned, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You connect that meticulous manufacturing to the strategy, and it makes perfect sense why Rocher is sold as this premium little luxury treat.
Exactly. Everything about how it's presented signals elegance, exclusivity, that iconic gold foil. That's not random.
No.
Psychologically, it transforms a piece of chocolate into a small gift. An affordable little indulgence.
Let's talk about wrapping that thing. You've got this fragile, bumpy sphere. You need to wrap it in thin foil, super fast, no wrinkles, no air bubbles. How?
That's another dedicated robotic stage, high-precision robotic arms. They work at mind-boggling speeds, wrapping cycles measured in milliseconds. The machines have optical sensors checking for the slightest flaw, a misalignment, a wrinkle. If it sees one, that piece gets kicked off the line. It never makes it into the box. The goal is millimeter accuracy. It has to look perfect.
Reinforcing that promise of perfection. And it's not just the foil. There are two other little design things. That brown paper cup it sits in, and the clear plastic box. They're not just practical, are they?
Not at all. They're critical, both psychologically and functionally. The brown paper cup keeps the fragile sphere stable in the box, stops it rolling around during shipping, but it also presents it like it's on its own little pedestal, makes it feel special. And the clear plastic box, that's deliberate. You see the perfection, the uniformity before you even buy it. It sells the quality right there on the shelf.
So it's this blend? Perfection, but also accessibility. Priced, above your average chocolate bar, but way below those super high-end artisanal chocolates.
Right in that sweet spot.
And that's what allowed them to go global. But scaling globally creates this massive logistics problem. Shipping billions of these fragile, temperature-sensitive things to over 100 countries.
How? This is where the supply chain becomes almost applied physics. It's a huge challenge. They have to guarantee that a Rocher you unwrap in, say, Toronto or Tokyo tastes identical to one you buy in Italy.
Which means temperature control the whole way.
Absolutely. The chocolate needs to stay in a very tight temperature range, ideally between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius. That's only a 4-degree window.
4 degrees. While crossing oceans and deserts, that sounds insanely difficult and expensive.
It requires hyperlogistics, a massive investment. They use sophisticated cold chain management heavily. In hot places, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, the spheres travel only in special insulated containers.
With monitoring.
Oh, yeah. IoT sensors tracking temperature and humidity constantly, reporting back to a central system. If the temp deviates even slightly, alarms go off, action is taken.
So it's not just shipping chocolate, it's shipping a perfectly stabilized microenvironment across the planet.
You got it. They use automated warehouses, distribution systems, plus quality teams do random checks and taste tests at every single stage. Factory dock, distribution center, everywhere.
That's how they guarantee it tastes the same everywhere.
That meticulous standardization is why the flavor never changes, no matter where you buy it. It's an incredible commitment to what the consumer expects.
It really is an amazing achievement. Standardized luxury on a massive scale. And looking ahead, we're already seeing some changes, right? New flavors popping up.
Yeah, dark chocolate, white chocolate. I think there's salted caramel, coconut.
So they are innovating.
They are, but it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? When your product is defined by that original, near-perfect formula, every new flavor needs new engineering tolerances, maybe different cream viscosity, new logistics.
That's a tricky balance.
A very delicate dance. Expand the range, but don't dilute what makes the core brand so strong.
And speaking of integrity, let's loop back to the presentation, that gold foil. It screams luxury perfection. But, we live in an age where sustainability matters more and more.
True.
Which brings up a really important question for you, the listener, to think about. The story of Ferrero Rocher is all about this relentless commitment to detail, proprietary tech.
Uncompromising quality, yeah. From that special Piemonte hazelnut through the three-step coating, the global logistics, it all relies on technology ensuring that perfect crunch, that consistent flavor.
But there's this growing global push, isn't there, for more sustainability and mass production. So here's the trade-off to consider. That perceived luxury of the gold foil versus the need for truly sustainable packaging that can still work at scale.
Yeah, what gives first?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Will Ferrero find a way to keep that luxury signal with, say, a recyclable gold effect wrap? Or will the symbol of opulence eventually have to bow to environmental responsibility? Something to ponder next time you unwrap one of those little golden spheres.